initiative that we have here at Paycor is called Perspectives Plus. And it's basically a resource center that we have on paycor.com that is dedicated totally to DE&I content. And so we have a monthly newsletter that goes out that features all of the latest and greatest DE&I content that we have for that month. And so when we just celebrated Black History Month, we gave the opportunity that for anybody who was interested in the newsletter, we showcased that we had a children's book that was written actually by somebody here at Paycor that is about, understanding and celebrating differences between people. And we gave people the opportunity to sign up to receive this book for their children if they wanted to. And we had such a wonderful outpour of interest and then also excitement once they started being received, because again, it was just kind of a nice little extra touch where we could give, something to them that actually could really make a difference in their day-to-day lives, but then also just show them about some of the, different supporting things that, Paycor is able to offer outside of what they might just think of when they think of Paycor. So different sorts of things that really provide this important content and things that can kind of, drive these conversations. So it was really just cool to be able to see how much interest we got in that and how much positive reaction we got once people started receiving their packages.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a similar one. I'll just mention one on the Chinese New Year we just did. So occasionally I'll get rep feedback and they'll trickle back up to marketing, or they'll forward me an email like, oh, this recipient said this, it was really cool. And one of the reps sent me a story where the recipient, the managing partner, got the fortune cookies, and he ended up taking them home to his family and his kids, and he was reading them to his 6 and 12-year-old. And because the 6-year-old couldn't understand the AI or legal pun or whatever, he was just making them up, and the 12-year-old's looking over his shoulder saying, that's not what that says, Daddy. And so the rep's telling me some of these things about kind of how it's connected all the way in unexpected outcomes. But one that's a little bit more like what Gretchen was saying, more on the CSR side, so corporate social responsibility. In Women's History Month last year, we did a campaign with writing blogs and ads and all kinds of stuff around what we're doing in the space and significant women in law in the last 100 years and whatever kind of different angles we were taking on it. So we wrote all those pieces. And then alongside that, we gave reps the opportunity to nominate 5 accounts that they wanted to gift flowers for Women's History Month. So we found a florist and all that. And some of these things with the variable data printing, you don't always have. If you're outsourcing to a vendor like in the marketplace, they may have a note, but you can't really do all the variable along the way. So in this case, what we did, I think I had 150 characters. And in this particular campaign with the flowers we sent to these accounts, this is the message. It said, here's to the change makers, women in law, breaking barriers, creating progress, and shaping an equitable world. In honor of women's history, LexisNexis. So 150 characters, short and sweet, didn't look like it comes from the rep. So the rep followed up still, but comes from the company. And it appeals to a different type of buyer. It's less about buy my product and it's more around be a part of my tribe, because sometimes people want to be associated and connected with brands and companies that are pursuing and engaging in things that matter to them on a social corporate responsibility level. And so, it's also interesting to kind of think, where do we have authority as a company in this space? Is this just virtue signaling, or do we have actually something to say when we're writing our blogs or doing some of these programs? So LexisNexis has a whole nonprofit arm that's around advancing the rule of law and equity under the law, access to the law globally. And so we were writing blogs around those pieces too. And one of the surprising moments that came out of that was we had attorneys that started sharing on LinkedIn some of these recipients, and they would say, hey, I just got flowers and not from my husband. And they would post the notes from LexisNexis. And I have screenshots of 3 or 4 of those kind of stories and moments from that campaign.